Welcome back, boys and girls. You are ready to start weaving your weft into your warp at this point, now that we all have our looms dressed. This is the warp, and what we need to do is take colorful yarn and we will weave it over, under, and that will be the weft that creates the weaving. And you actually won't be able to see the warp strings too much. So make sure you have the correct side, this side with your name, and the tied part is just the back, which we'll deal with later. And we want to focus on the front of our loom. And what you'll want to do is find a color that you want to decide to use, and you need to come up with a pattern with various colors. So you might choose a couple different colors, and that's fine. I have this green yarn first that I'm going to start with. And what you want to do is pull the yarn so that it is 2 arms length long before you cut it. And so what I'm going to do is just go like this. Hello. And so what I'm going to do is stretch my arm all the way. That's 1. You can't really see this that well. So I'm going to stretch it all the way across and then do that again. 1 more time. And then I'm going to get my scissors and cut my string. If you want to do it a little bit longer, you can, or a little shorter, you can. But this just gives you a good amount of yarn to work with so that it doesn't get tangled. So I'm going to take one end of my yarn and I'm going to thread it through one of the plastic needles that we'll be using. If you need to twist it to slide it through, you can. Do your best to slide it through and just pull it and leave a little tail so that you can tie it in the knot. Just loop it through and that should be good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start weaving under the first warp, over the next one, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and so on. Now, one thing that's helpful sometimes is moving towards the middle of your loom, not way at the top because it's tighter there. That helps you move the needle. So I'm over here, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. I'm going to pull my string all the way across. This is why it's nice not to have super long string because the beginning part takes a while. I'm going to leave a little tail off here and I'm going to push it all the way to the top like so. So you should have a pattern of seeing the warp string and then knot, there's the warp, there's knot, there's the warp. So it goes over, under, over, under. That is your first weaving of the yarn. What you need to do next is loop it through the other way, going from left to right. Is my yarn over or under my last warp string on this side? It is under because I can see the warp. So I don't want to go under again. I need to go over the first one and then under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. That's under. So this is over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. This does take a lot of concentration to keep track, and you can see if you go over 2 times, you'll have to adjust. And if you do accidentally make a mistake, let's say right here, I went over twice. If you pull it, you can already start to see that it goes over twice. So if that is the case, it's not the end of the world, but what you do want to do is fix it by pulling your needle back out just where you made the mistake. So this is under, over, under, over, under, over, and then pull it tight. So pull this part tight, push it up, and what you don't want to do is pull it too tight on this side. So I'm actually going to pull it out a little bit. If you start pulling it too tight, it will start to make your weaving get smaller and smaller and smaller. So what you want to do is leave a little loop. You can see here, it's a loose loop that keeps my weaving even. So I have it even again, and I'm going to go back through. Because my weaving goes over the last warp string on this side, I'm going to go under this time. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, under, over, under. Let's see, I think that's right. It's under, over, under. All right, so you're going to pull it all the yarn through once again. Push it all the way up with your fingers. And pull it a little bit tighter there, but leave a little loop right there. You are already starting to see your weaving take form. I'm going to go through one more time and you can get started on your loom. Whoops, I can see that I went under both, so I need to go over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Push it up. Pull out your loop a little bit. And that is my next line. So I'm starting to weave a beautiful fabric. Have fun weaving, and in the next video I'm going to show you how to change colors. Have fun!